Welcome back, everybody. The doors of the 29 South African Revenue Services or SARS offices were closed yesterday due to a nationwide strike by the workers. Thousands of workers affiliated to the National Education, Health and Allied Workers Union or NEHAW and the Public Servants Association or the PSA downed tools across the country in support of the strike. Now, workers are demanding an 11.5% increase while SARS is offering only 7%. Now, on the eve of the nationwide strike, the president announced the appointment of the new SARS boss, Edward Kiswater, to bring stability to the organization. And joining us now from Pretoria is Takalani Musekwa. He is the SARS executive for remuneration and benefits. And with us right here in studio is Stefan Viljoen, Labour Relations Officer from the PSA. Very good morning to you two gentlemen. A very warm welcome to Morning Live. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Simphiwe.
I'm going to start with you, Stefan. Now, SARS employees have been saying that the morale at the tax agency is very, very low. Can you elaborate on this?
Yes, no, that is definitely correct. The staff morale is an all-time low. If everything that's gone on in the last 2-3 years within the media that was covered. If you look at the Nugent report that came out in December as well, that has really painted a very bleak picture of what is happening within SARS. And these are things that are affecting our membership in SARS. But it's not necessarily things that our members are the cause of. It's the cause of senior managers within SARS, but yet our members are the ones to blame for the effects of those corrupt activities and mismanagement of SARS as an organization.
Can you pinpoint some of the issues that the workers feel have led to the decision that the morale was actually at an all-time low?
It's just a combination of everything that is happening within SARS. Certain units have been dismantled not to be able to ensure that we can zoom into proper revenue collection, ensure that we can prevent the illicit trade in goods and services, and make sure that just revenue collection is taking place in South Africa. And then, like I say, our members are being prejudiced for most of these things, and if anything goes wrong, they are the ones that are being disciplined and being fired on a daily basis. Yet senior managers that are implicated are the ones that are still remaining there and are not being faced with any consequences for their decisions or actions that they've taken.
All right. Mr. Musekwa, now just last night, SARS indicated that they've been granted an interdict against some of the striking workers, yet we know very well that the strike is fully legal. So what's the intention of SARS for this interdict?
Well, good morning. Thank you. Let me start by apologizing to our taxpayers for the inconvenience they experienced yesterday. The agreement we had with regards to the picketing rules with both PSA and NEHAW was that the picketing will take place at Lehigh SARS in Brooklyn and at our Alberton campus. However, yesterday when the strike started, the members, the employees across the country at various branches and ports of entry decided to picket at all those sites. That was illegal, and we were forced because we didn't make any contingencies for the areas where the pickets were not supposed to happen. So we approached the Labour Court to ask that they be interdicted from continuing to picket in the areas which are not designated. We received the interim interdict, which requires them to picket only at the 2 designated sites. However, we are approaching the CCMA today, both with between ourselves and organized labor, so that they can submit then their new application of the other areas where they want to picket. And then the application will then be considered on that basis. As SARS, we need to state that we have no objection to our employees embarking on industrial action. So the strike is legal, it's supported, it's protected. However, it needs to be done within the picketing rules that are agreed upon.
Now, after months of intense negotiations, well, the negotiation process hit a brick wall. Do we know why? I mean, what could have possibly started this standoff?
Look, I see that the narrative in the media continues to say that the standoff is between a 7% and the 11.4%. We have made, our last offer that we made was 8% across the board, followed by a CPI plus 1% in year 2 and year 3 of a 3-year wage agreement. Organized labor rejected that and said they want a single term. So that offer still stands. We still want to offer 8% coupled with a 3-year agreement of CPI plus 1% in year 2 and 3. The only provision is that if organized labor feels that a single term is more suitable for them, we are willing to grant that, but only on the 7%, because we cannot afford 8% for a single term.
Okay. Now, in a statement, SARS says that they can only offer 7 to 8% because if they offer more than that, it could have a ripple effect on their capacity to function. Do you think SARS can really afford to give you 11%?
Well, the 11% was based on various factors that we've taken into consideration. And as we've indicated, the employers have already taken a lot of our benefits away that organised labour has fought for through collective bargaining processes. And therefore we say, the 11% increase is deserving towards our employees, being the fact that the employer is taking that away. Also, if you take into consideration that critical services have also increased with more than what the percentage in CPI has increased over the last couple of years.
And they told you, the unions, that they've got a bigger responsibility than only considering salaries. Your views on this?
Well, that is true. I mean, as SARS, they represent 90% of all revenue collection is being done through SARS. So we are very much aware of the critical role and function that SARS plays within South Africa. But that's also why we believe it is short-sighted from SARS not to come to the table and actually give our employees something that they deserve. The impact of this is far-reaching into every single human being, into the constitutional right of every single South African. The services that are being presented or given by government, like for example education, medical aid in hospitals, all these things are being done by the money that's being collected by SARS. Yet we are, rather instead of capacitating SARS, taking this money and bailing out other state-owned entities, which we can see through the media has been corrupted through mismanagement and just wasting the money.
Mr. Moseka, now we've heard earlier on Stefan talking about the very, very low staff morale at SARS, and we've heard during the Commission of Inquiry into SARS how the staff morale has been very low, and there's been a culture of fear at SARS, and there were cameras planted everywhere, and basically the public trust in SARS diminished, and it took a nosedive. And it's safe to say that the fact that the deficit can partly be attributed to the loss of confidence and trust in SARS. Am I correct?
Well, the issues that SARS has gone through over the last few years are on record at the various forums you mentioned. I don't think it helps to dwell on that. We have just received the appointment of the new commissioner. We're looking forward to the start of a new chapter at SARS. We believe that the appointment is very timely and it will help us to be able to move forward as an organization.
Now, do you think the new boss will pull things together at SARS?
Excuse me, I didn't get that.
Do you think Mr. Edward Kieswetter can pull things together at SARS? I mean, he's been given a very rude welcoming at the tax agency.
Well, Mr. Kieswetter is an experienced executive. He has been at SARS before, so he knows the organization. He has been in financial services. He has been CEO of Alexander Forbes. So I don't see any issues. I think he is the right man for the job, and I can't doubt that he's going to be able to help us move forward.
All right. Stefan, do you also share the same view? I mean, Mr. Kieswetter has got an elaborate profile. He's been working, all over the place, and he's quite a credible man. Do you think he'll pull things together at SARS?
Yes. No, the PSA also issued a media statement yesterday welcoming the appointment of Mr. Kieswetter, and we believe that he might be the man that will turn it around. But he will not be able to do that if he doesn't take organised labour with him, if he doesn't come to the PSA and bring us to the party and involve us in the plans that he wants to do at SARS. Because without the buy-in from its employees and organised labour, everything will still fall flat.
So if you were to be given an opportunity to meet with him, what are some of the issues that you'd like him to address as a matter of urgency? Well,
everything that we've said basically during the last couple of months, with regards to the mobilisation project that was undertaken by SARS, that they've reduced a lot of the units within SARS, a lot of benefits have been taken away from employees, and these are the benefits that have really played on the morale of our employees. So these are the things that we definitely need to go correct to make sure that our employees are happy and therefore can go forward and collect revenue.
All right. Mr. Moseka, on the issue of benefits, it's safe to say that it's actually making the situation so grave.
I think we have had a task team between ourselves and the organised labour at the beginning of the wage negotiations this year. We looked at the finances that the organisation has over the next 3 years as per the grant that we receive from National Treasury. Now, we have a deficit that we need to work with. Our labor colleagues have assisted us in making recommendations about areas where we can find savings so that we can be able to address this. So we believe that there are a number of things that we need to do to be able to protect the current cost structure and the current benefit structure. We agree with the employees that we need to protect the employee value proposition that we have for our employees, what made SARS to be what it is in terms of employment benefits to staff. So we want to retain that. So we are looking at everything that we can do to do that. However, adding exorbitant increases like 11.4% makes it impossible for us to be able to protect the benefit structure that we already have. If we were to do that, that means that we want to dismantle everything and try to start from scratch. And we don't think that is necessary. We believe that the offer that we've made of 8% and CPI plus 1% over the next 2 years is very comparable and favorable compared to many other offers that are out in the market. So we're still trusting that our organized labor colleagues, together with our employees, will look at this and compare it to others in the market, and they will realize that it is indeed a fair and reasonable offer, and they will reconsider their position at this stage.
Now, back on the issue of the strike, I mean, 29 branches have been shut down across the country. So how will this likely affect customs at the borders and the revenue collection in general?
Well, obviously, yesterday we closed about 33 branches because we didn't have enough staff to be able to keep them open. We have provided updates on our Twitter feed and on our website. Our Twitter feed is SARS Techs. If people want to know what is happening, so we're going to try to keep them updated in that regard. Today is the last day, at least the last working day of the revenue collection for 2018-19. We ask all our taxpayers who still have taxes due to make their payments today. Our traders who have any deferred payments that are due, they can print their statements online and be able to go and make payments through the bank channels. Those that have to do any filing returns, they can still use our e-filing channel, and we hope that that will be able to assist most of the taxpayers. Today is the last day. Obviously, if your payment is late, there are penalties that are levied, and we would like to hope that our taxpayers will not allow themselves to go into that situation. For those that just need to pay, there's no reason why they should not be able to pay because the employees are on strike, because they don't need to be interacting with any of our offices to be able to do that.
All right, Stefan, can you categorically warn the public to stay away from SARS offices? I mean, how long will the strike be going on for?
Well, we've indicated until such time that the employer SARS is coming back to the table and present us with an offer that our members can accept, the strike will continue. The question earlier stated regard to the picketing and only allowed at 2 places. As much as we can only strike at or picket at those 2 places, all the other offices will still be affected. Our employees are on strike and they will stay away from those branches, from those border posts. So no services will be rendered. And our members are standing resolute to say that we will fight for this increase until such time that the employer is going to come back to the table for us.
Do the employees have absolutely no regard at all at the inconvenience that's being causing on members of the public?
They do have, but our members have got rights as well.
Yeah.
You know, like any other South African, if the employer is not treating them well, if they move within the ambits of the Labour Relations Act, they can exercise the rights. And that's all that what we are doing, is that we're protecting the rights and the interests of our members. And we will continue to do that until such time that SARS will come to the table. We're not that far apart. You know, during discussions just on the eve of wage negotiations, we categorically place it to the employer that a single term agreement is what we are looking for. We believe there was a meeting of minds during that agreement. Later evening when we returned, all of a sudden the employer came back with a multi-term agreement. The only thing that was outstanding is the percentage-wise, which we agreed that we will take that back to our members and we would be able to convince them to take that.
All right, Stefan and Takalani, thanks to you two gentlemen for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks to Takalani Musekwa, SARS Executive for Remuneration and Benefits, and Stefan Viljoen, the Labour Relations Officer at the Public Servants Association, or PSA, for chatting to us about the current SARS strike.